I want to bring in Robert Ray now, former Whitewater independent counsel, former federal prosecutor. Morning to you. You heard the president for 50 minutes. You watched the hearings all week long. Where are we in America right now after 5 days of hearings, Robert?
Well, I think the most recent news is that the counterattack by the White House through the President of the United States himself has just begun. That happened this morning on your network. So that's a significant development, I think. Where we are is that it looks like the public phase of the hearings have concluded regarding the Select Committee on Intelligence, and I imagine that the Democrats now are busy through the House Judiciary Committee with consideration of the articles of impeachment they intend to pursue, ultimately with a recommendation to the full House to vote on it. And whether they have a majority or not, I guess, remains to be seen.
Did you hear slam dunk evidence this week that would convince them one way or the other, whether you go forward with what Jillian just described, the articles of impeachment, or whether you just take a step back and go for a censure vote?
Well, my impression of what has happened now that this is, in this sense, over. In other words, they have the evidence they're going to have. There's not going to be any more evidence likely. They're going to go with this.
No more witnesses then?
I don't think so. I mean, I think Nancy Pelosi is signaling that they're going to attempt to have witnesses if the matter makes its way over to the United States Senate for trial. But I don't think you're going to see any further witnesses before the House. Now, I could be wrong, but it looks like they're fully intent on proceeding with this, wherever it leads, and beginning when they return from their Thanksgiving recess in the first couple of weeks of December.
That opening comment you made, Robert, is very interesting. This is the first sign of the White House going on offense, essentially, led by the president. Just take you back.
Right.
Let's start with Brian's question about the aid tied to corruption and how that came up in the hearing. Here's the question and answer a moment ago.
You do say, I wanted to hold up that aid because of corruption, but you also in the phone call...
Reason too. No, right. 2 reasons.
Okay.
For corruption, because it's known, I want to make sure the money is going to be spent properly. But there's another reason that is maybe, to me, the most important.
Which is?
Why isn't Germany, France, the European Union, why aren't all those countries in Europe, why aren't they paying? Why is it always the United States, the sucker? I got elected on that.
The president has the right to temporarily withhold aid to see what the Ukrainians would do. And Adam Schiff's argument to the contrary, that the only reason he released the aid was because he got caught, is inconsistent with the facts. It was signaled as early in a little noticed part of Mick Mulvaney's press conference that OMB understood that they did not have the authority to retain the aid indefinitely. They could only do so until the end of the fiscal year, which was September 30th of this year.
But you see the defense that he's putting out publicly, and I think your point is well taken about going on offense right now after you're playing on defense. Michael Horowitz, the IG report, what is your expectation now that there's appears to be an inclination toward criminal proceedings with John Durham?
I don't think we know a whole lot about it, but I do think we know some important things that we're going to find out the rest of the story now on December 9th. The first is that it was someone in the process of applying to the FISA court in order to get a warrant to surveil Carter Page. That's significant. This individual was at the FBI. It was a lawyer. There was a document that was altered, and it was relied upon in the FISA application process. That's not an insignificant,
not a small matter.
Error in judgment. That's potentially a criminal act.
Robert Ray, thank you so much. We'll lean on you after Thanksgiving, okay?
Very good.
Come on back.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And to you as well.